The ship came back alone. Engines running, food still warm, but the crew had completely vanished. No bodies, no blood, no note. Just an empty ship, drifting toward shore like nothing happened. By the end of this, you'll understand why investigators still argue about this case, and why some of them refuse to talk about it at all. Let's go back to the beginning. A cargo ship left port on a routine run. Nothing unusual. An experienced crew. A captain who'd made this trip a dozen times before. 3 weeks later, another vessel spotted it drifting near the coast. No flares, no radio response, no movement on deck. The captain sent 2 men over in a small boat. What they found made one of them refuse to ever sail again. This is Layer 1. The ship was empty. That part alone is strange. But it's not impossible. Ships get abandoned. Crews panic. People make mistakes. What comes next is what makes this case impossible. The engine room was still running. Fuel levels normal. In the galley, food sat untouched on the table. A coffee cup, half full, slowly rocking with the motion of the waves. The logbook lay open on the captain's desk. Calm handwriting. No mention of danger. No storm. No mutiny. Then, nothing. The pages after that were blank. Every lifeboat was still attached. Every life jacket accounted for. If they'd abandoned ship, they would have taken the boats. They didn't. This is Layer 2. None of it makes sense, but it gets worse. The ship's radio was found switched on. When investigators pressed the transmitter, it didn't speak. It just hissed. A long, static hiss. Like the air itself was holding its breath. And then there was the compass. Ships' compasses don't move on their own. But this one had shifted nearly 40 degrees from its last logged heading. No storm to explain it. No mechanical fault found. Something on that ship had pulled the needle off course. Nobody could say what. This is Layer 3. The details stop adding up. And then they found the watch. The captain's pocket watch, sitting in a small pool of seawater inside his own locked cabin, stopped. Frozen at a time nearly 6 hours before the ship was found. Seawater. Inside a cabin that was sealed from the inside. Nobody could explain how ocean water got into a locked room without a single drop touching anything else. This is the detail that breaks logic completely. Now let's slow down. Because behind all of this, there was a man. We'll call him the Navigator. He had a wife waiting at home. A young daughter who didn't fully understand why her father vanished for months at a time. He carried a small photo of them, tucked inside his jacket pocket. That jacket was found, still hanging on a hook. The photo, still inside it. He never came back for it. His daughter kept that photo for the rest of her life. And every time she opened it, she asked her mother the same question. If he didn't leave the ship, then where did he go? Nobody ever answered her. Now here's how the investigation actually unfolded. At first, investigators wrote down 3 possibilities. One of them was crossed out within hours. The first theory: a sudden storm caused the crew to panic and abandon ship. But weather logs from nearby vessels showed calm seas. No storm anywhere near that route. Crossed out. The second theory took longer to die. Toxic gas, leaking from the cargo hold. Certain cargo, under the wrong conditions, releases fumes that cause disorientation, hallucination. A man breathing it might believe the ship was sinking and jump, convinced he was saving his life. For a while, investigators believed this was the answer. It explained the panic. It explained why nobody used the lifeboats. Confusion, not choice. For years, this theory stood above all others, until one detail made it collapse completely. When the cargo hold was finally tested, gas levels came back normal. No leak, no toxin. Nothing that could explain a single missing sailor, let alone an entire crew. The strongest theory anyone had was gone. That left the one theory modern researchers still lean toward today: a rogue wave. For decades, sailors who described waves taller than 10-story buildings were dismissed as exaggerating. Old men telling fish stories. Then, in the 1990s, scientific instruments finally recorded one. A wall of water nearly 26 meters high, towering over ships built to survive nothing close to that. If a wave like that struck at night, while most of the crew stood on deck, it could sweep an entire crew into the sea in seconds. No mayday, no struggle, no time to scream. It would explain the calm logbook entry, the untouched food, the eerie silence. It explains almost everything except the lifeboats. If even a few seconds passed before the wave hit, someone would have run for them. Someone always does. Nobody did, and it doesn't explain the compass, or the hiss on the radio, or a pocket watch stopped sitting in seawater inside a sealed room. So even the best theory we have still leaves a door open that nobody can close. This is exactly why the case refuses to die. Every few years, a new researcher reopens the file. A new analyst studies the old weather data. A new theory gets proposed, picked apart, and quietly shelved again. Because here's what investigators have had to accept, even if they hate admitting it. Some mysteries don't get solved. They just get studied, over and over, by people hoping one overlooked detail will finally make sense of it. Today, shipping companies install satellite tracking, black box recorders, real-time alarms. If a ship goes silent now, Coast Guards know within minutes, not weeks. We built systems to make sure it never happens again. But we still don't know what actually happened the first time. Somewhere, in an old case file, there's a stopped watch, a half-finished logbook entry, and a photograph a little girl kept her entire life. And to this day, nobody can tell her where her father went.